I wanted to become a professional football player.
Wow.
Yes. So actually, I was playing all my life. When I was 4 years old, I started, and then until I was approximately 19 years old. And then I
That's
said,
crazy.
okay, I have to make a choice. I either become one of the best football players in the world, right?
All right.
And if I'm in the top 500 best football players in the world, I might be a multi-millionaire, right? So I said, nice. But if I was one of the 500 best entrepreneurs in the world, I would be multi-billionaire.
Right.
So I said, statistically speaking, I should go with studying something solid, maybe. So that didn't mean I should become a business person.
Okay.
For me, in my head, I just wanted to solve a larger problem I had, which I thought I need money for. Always what I do is, if I want to get into an industry and I want to actually master it, I want to know who the decision makers of these industries are.
Right.
So, for example, or the authorities. When I wanted to become an aesthetic plastic surgeon, where did I go? I went to the library and asked the librarian, give me the books written by German aesthetic plastic surgeons. I looked at all the names and I called them up.
Oh.
And I said, hey, I'm not a patient, but I'm a guy who wants to decide about his life. Can you help me with 2 questions? One, are you rich?
It's straightforward. Are you rich?
And 2 is like, is your life glamorous and whatever? Is this the real image of? Is the image I have the reality? And they totally told me they are not rich in terms of billionaires, and they are also not kind of having this glamorous life a young kid like me was thinking. So I ignored it. I still did it and failed. So that was the first learning for me. Do I really love the job, or do I really love the role? And you have to love the job, not only the role people see.
What was your first job where you were actually hired?
No, actually, my first job was when I was, I think, 14. I was distributing catalogs of supermarkets.
Okay, like to doors?
Door to door, yeah.
Nice.
It was nice.
I can imagine. Was like
my first month's salary was like, if you now convert it, it's around $70. And then I had another one which was counting inventory at a larger supermarket chain, and I had to count candles.
Candles?
I think it was like 10 million candles. It felt like.
No way.
It was so it didn't stop. I had to count them because companies have to do that to kind of double or to verify the count of inventory they have.
Right.
They chose me. You know what? The induction was so funny. They asked me if I can count. I said, of course I can count. And they said, count these. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They said, okay, you're good.
No.
That was the interview. I also did a flea market on the street. I just sat on the street and sold these surprise eggs.
Oh yeah.
When you open
like
them,
the Kinder Surprise.
Exactly. You open them and then I sold them on the street. That was my first. I think that was even before I did the newspaper.
Those markets are common in Germany, right? Like
it wasn't. I made it. I just sat on the side of the street.
Oh,
random
it wasn't
street.
like a market.
No, it was just me and my two best friends.
So it's like a lemonade stand, but you
Yes.
made it like a Kinder chocolate stand.
I made 10 marks, I think, per day. That was good.
That was good.
10 marks.
That's like times 2, right?
But the point is, I didn't understand business that much when I was 12, because that was even before I did the catalog thing.
Right.
Revenue for me was profit. That was the same thing. So if I sold for 10 marks,
and your
that
cost
was my problem. My cost was 0 because my parents bought the Kinder thing.
Yeah.
I had 0 cost of goods sold.
Did you encounter any like failures with that?
There's always failures. Like, for example, when we launched Sukkar.com, which was the online fashion store, we had 25 employees approximately.
Okay.
And a month later, I figured out that there was fraud in the team. So we fired all of them. So I was alone, pretty much.
You fired all of them?
Yeah, and we had to...
It was teamwork.
Yeah, and we had to actually rehire everything. And I was 24, 25 years old, so it wasn't really pleasant experience. I wasn't a really good CEO because I was still learning, but at the same time, it was a huge challenge for me to not give up. I could have just given up, but it was really, really tough to first of all lose faith in or trust,
right?
Which I never wanted to do, and I still don't. I always believe in the good of in people,
right?
And I give them this trust advance. I didn't want to lose it, but it was a real big challenge to actually not lose that at that point of time. While the company was growing, in the seventh month, I remember 7th month after launch, we made $1 million a month.
SellAnyCar.com. You started that when you just resigned from Souk?
Yes.
And how did you come up with that?
Tried selling my car, and it was a hassle. I figured, why is it so complicated to sell a car, a used car? And there should be better ways of doing it. Fast, easy, and at a fair price.
So then
I lose classifieds, which are kind of horrible experiences. So you have like strangers coming to your house, you give out your phone numbers, you tell them where you live. They don't show up, they just waste your time, and it costs money to list and all these things. It didn't make sense. I said, if I'm selling my car, why should it be a 6 weeks experience? It should be a 30 minutes experience. That's what I put in I said, any car, that's why it's in the name, should be sold in 30 minutes. And that's our
that's a marketing message that you convey, because everywhere you see, I mean, you have crazy billboards here in Dubai. You are touring around right now and giving motivational coaching. Would you call it coaching, or would speeches?
It's basically a bit of, so it's split into 7 parts.
Okay.
So it's a bit of my story and mindset, but then it pretty much is all about business. So it goes from idea, valuation generation, to business planning, team, financing, business intelligence. Okay. And these are the things we talk about. So people actually who go there, they actually learn something. And I didn't do a full tour. I call it the tour because it's still going on. I did one show in Frankfurt, and the next one is going to be announced soon. Okay. It sold out, so I was happy. When you are out there with your face and your name representing a company, you will be more responsible, and you will not do anything which actually harms your customers. Because, if I was hiding behind my logo, I could just resign and the new CEO takes over. I have no damages. But if I was out there with my face and name, it will haunt me. So that's why I have to be careful. And I want to be careful. And I actually want to stand with my name. And that's probably pretty much more difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be hiding behind it. I think if you're a captain of a ship and you don't know where you're going, you will never arrive, right? So you basically need to know where you're going, and then any effort you have points to that direction, then you'll be successful. Now, obviously, it's not just mindset, as I said, right? Mindset is just one part of it, and then it's a craft. Business is not just mindset; it's a craft. You have to learn the basics of business. You have to learn how do you identify business ideas? How do you evaluate them? How do you build a business plan? How do you build a team? How do you raise funds for your business? And how do you actually have operational excellence with business intelligence? So these are the things I'm actually talking about during the tour.